What's up guys, Marux Vlogs here, and in this episode, which is gonna be episode 2, I'm gonna go through my entire bike and show you guys what I've been doing so far. Now, I haven't been uploading for almost a month, something like that, 1 month or a couple of weeks. It's because I've been busy waiting for the parts and working, and I have university to take care of, so it's been a lot of things that I've been needing to do. But now I can finally do this video and show you guys what I've been doing so far on my motorcycle. So, as I mentioned before, I was gonna do an installation on the new headlights I was buying. Actually, I did the installation. It was a little bit tricky, but here you can actually see it. Now, I'm just gonna find my keys. So basically, it looks like this. So now I will only show this part because I don't want to start a motorcycle, but as you can see here, this is how it looks like, right? This is basically the running lights that's gonna stay on this motorcycle when I turn the ignition on. And when I start the motorcycle, these two, this one and this one, they're gonna like give me light. So they're actually gonna look, it's gonna give me some light, and this is how it looks like when you turn the ignition on. And I also changed this light. I remember this light was not the same. I changed this one to LED as well, because yeah, the other one was so bad I really couldn't have it. So that's what I've done on this bike. I installed the new headlight as promised from my previous episode. And what else? I haven't done anything else on this bike so far. I actually done one thing. That is actually, I was changing. As you can see, I was putting new lights here. Here's the new light, right? This is how it looks like. So this light and this light on the other side is gonna be my other running lights for the back part of the bike. So in the rear part of the bike, this and this is gonna be my running lights. Meanwhile, on the front, these are gonna be my running lights, this one and this. Now, this installation took me around 1 or 2 weeks to do, and I had to work around the different parts. When I received the headlight, I was trying to figure out which part, which cable did what and so on. It was kind of tricky to begin with, but after experimenting a little bit, I managed to work around all the things and actually install my new headlight. And this is how it looks like. As you can see, it looks really cool. It looks really elegant. Here's the AUX light, and here's the other side. Look at that. Now, as I said, I don't want to start a motorcycle, so you can't really see how it looks like. But I'm going to modify this video. I'm going to put up another video where I'm showing how they look like when I start a motorcycle. So when it came to the cables, it wasn't really difficult. When I was working with the headlight, it was kind of tricky to put it back, know where everything is. And when I was actually connecting all the right cables to the right spots, that part was also a little bit tricky, to be honest. And then I had to find space. As you can see here, I have a lot of different cables going around right now. I have to be like push them in a lot to actually get some space for all my parts. As you can see, I've tried to settle everything down here so that these parts doesn't really touch the suspension or anything. So I can actually turn my bike like this. As you can see here, I can actually turn my bike like this and like this without any problems, because after I changed it, I tried to zip everything around properly so I could move my handlebars left and right. So that's working perfectly. So that's what I've done to this bike actually. And then the running lights on the rear. That's pretty much all about it. And I'm gonna see what else I'm gonna do. On the next episode, I'm actually gonna work with trying to install some new parts. Here, as you can see, this is this is nothing too special, but this black part right here, I'm thinking of buying carbon fiber, this part right here, all the way down, carbon fiber. Now, as you can see, I have stickers here, so I don't know what to do about these, because I really want to keep these stickers. Might buy a new one, I'm not entirely sure. So that's gonna wait. So that's what I'm gonna be waiting for. Oh, and I also installed, as you can probably see, carbon fiber around the dashboard here. As you can see, looks pretty cool. So that's what I've done so far. So on my next episode, I am going to be doing some other modifications on this bike. Now, the hardest part about this was actually knowing each cable. The installation on the bike itself, removing the stock headlight and then putting it back, wasn't really the hard part. And I did something else. I did something new actually. At first, there are two cables. Here you can see them. I have connected. There are two cables. Here is one. Let's see. Here is one cable. This cable goes to the high beam, right? This is the high beam cable. I connected the high beam cable to the headlight's high beam cable. So what I did was, instead of having two different buttons that I would have on the side here like this for low and high beam, I basically cut the wires for the stock headlight, low beam and high beam, and I connected this headlight had its own, like, it has two cables, one negative and one positive, and the positive one was the high beam and the negative one was the low beam. So I was thinking, maybe I could take the cables from the stock headlight and just melt them together to use, so I can use this button right here. I can use this button for low beam and high beam on this new headlight by connecting the low beam and high beam cable that I have for this headlight to the stock cables that I used for the stock headlight, which I did. I melted all these parts together. As you can see, there's a lot of cables, so you can't really see much, but I did melt them together, and I did the same on the other part. And now when I start the bike, I can actually use my button like this for low and high beam, which is cool. So I don't really need to use any buttons or anything like that, or any switches at all. No switches, nothing. So that's perfect. That's exactly how I want it. So you can pretty much say that this bike hasn't been changed overall. Like, I still use the same buttons, everything like that. I just get a new cool headlight like this, and it looks pretty fucking awesome. So right now I can't ride it because it's snowy outside, so I have to wait like 2 or 3 months before I can actually drive my bike. But once the snow disappears and spring is moving towards, like when spring is coming closer and closer, I'm gonna take my R3 on a drive. I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna show you guys what it actually looks like when it's out in traffic. But now, as you can see, for now, it looks pretty fucking cool. there's like a there's no like schematic for this for all the cables. I did have to try to experiment with it at home, but after I did, which took me like a few hours, but still, I managed to work with all the cables, and that helped so much. So if you're gonna do this, I recommend you to take this the new headlight, take it back home, work with the cables, take the battery, because I used the stock battery to power the new headlight at home, so I could actually see the right effects on the new headlight, because that's what it's gonna rely on when you put it back on your actual bike. And I did that. Actually, I took the battery. At first I was skeptical, I didn't want to bring the battery, but I did, and that helped so much. And now I have these cool, and then I managed to work with it. It worked, it started, and then I had all these cable, like as I mentioned before, the low beam and high beam cable. I didn't know at first what they were doing. I tried them, and then I managed to work with them. And basically what's interesting about this is, as I mentioned, these are like, as you can see, this is, as I said, high beam for the stock headlight, and on the other side you can see the low beam for the stock headlight. Basically the new headlight that I have has, as I said, two cables, but both cables are supposed to be connected to the positive end of the stock headlight cables. So basically, say we have two cables on each side, one here and one here. Basically, when you connect them together, you connect the low beam and high beam from the new headlight to the positive low beam on the stock cable, and then the positive, which is high beam, from the new headlight to the positive side of the stock headlight cable. So I'm only using positive on both sides, and which you might be able to see here. Actually, this cable right here, this is the negative. So there was one positive which I connected, which you can see here. So the positive goes all the way like this. Here is the positive. I'm only connecting the positive to the stock headlight cable, and the negative, well, the negative you don't need to do anything with. It doesn't do anything. If you try to connect this, you're gonna have a short circuit and you're gonna blow a fuse. I had some experience with that. I have some fuses here. I blew 2 fuses by doing this, but it helped me so much, and I learned from my mistake, and I know next time if I'm gonna do this, I know exactly that I'm supposed to take it home first and do proper testing before I put it back on. And that's pretty much about what I've done. And the same for these running lights. Basically they were brighter than you can see here. I put a resistance, I think it was 200 ohm, and now they're a little bit less bright, and that's exactly how I want. Because before it was too bright. I think I would actually that would cause some problems in traffic if I drive with these. It would be too bright for other traffickers to see me, and yeah, that would cause so much problems. So that's pretty much about it. I'm also gonna put along with this video, you will see a video of me starting the bike, where you will see the actual effect of these new headlights that I installed on my Yamaha R3 2016. And to be honest, they look really great. You will see that. I'm gonna upload that in just a moment with this video, and hopefully I will be able to do more. On the next episode, I'm gonna work with putting the parts back. I'm also gonna change, it's a very simple procedure actually. I'm gonna change the battery, I'm gonna change the seat, I'm gonna change the passenger seat. It's gonna be much better material, and I'm also gonna working back on this part, the windshield. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode, which is gonna be episode 3. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.